A peculiar sense of liberation dawns upon you the instant you grasp this truth. You are not indebted to anyone for an account, not concerning your identity, not regarding your transformation, not for the choices you made when cornered and your spirit was depleted. This obligation extends neither to your kin nor to your companions, and it most assuredly does not apply to a society that feigns comprehension only when you adhere to its prescribed narrative. The majority will never comprehend the struggles you endured in quiet. They will never fathom the sleepless nights you spent, merely attempting to prevent your mind from imploding, or the dawns when you compelled yourself to rise while every fiber of your being yearned to remain inert. Nevertheless, these individuals will be foremost in interrogating your decision to distance yourself from depleting circumstances. Yet, quietude possesses strength. It is not an indication of feebleness. It is not a form of evasion. It represents command, and within a world fixated on reactivity, on perpetual remarks, on rash affirmation, quietness is an act of defiance. It signifies self-respect. It is the awareness that your vitality is hallowed, that your existence is not a tribunal where unfamiliar individuals are permitted to scrutinize your spirit. The more profoundly you comprehend your own nature, the less compelled you are to clarify yourself to others. This is because you begin to discern a crucial insight. Justifications are frequently a method of requesting consent, and upon ceasing the pursuit of approval, you commence the complete possession of your life. Consider the frequency with which individuals urge you to justify your limits. You establish a demarcation, and abruptly, you are induced to feel remorse for not yielding. You decline, and their gaze implies you are unkind. Yet, what remains unseen by them are the extended periods of self-neglect that culminated in your eventual refusal. What remains unheard is the internal voice, suppressed for an excessive duration, which persistently murmured, "This is unsuitable for me." We are trained to provide excessive clarifications for our actions, because at some juncture we assimilated the notion that comprehension equated to acceptance. However, this is inaccurate. To be understood is a privilege. Attaining inner tranquility is an imperative. There is a profound stoicism in refraining from reaction, from self-justification, from striving for visibility. The instant you disconnect from the craving for approval, for vindication, for external validation, you achieve an unassailable state. You transform into a formidable presence, as you cease to function with the identical emotional tender as those surrounding you. You no longer invest your time substantiating your value to individuals who appreciate you solely when it aligns with their ease. You start to manifest the type of strength derived from self-control, a strength that requires no proclamation, for it emanates through your demeanor, your composure, your unwillingness to be perturbed. Retaliation also alters its nature as you mature. You cease desiring to inflict harm upon those who caused you injury. You discontinue dreaming of compelling them to comprehend your suffering. Your quietness emerges as the supreme form of reprisal, not due to its frigidity, but because it has developed. Because you have come to understand that the most shattering action you can take against someone who formerly dominated you is the absence of any need to utter a single word to them. No sound resonates more profoundly than the void of a response. And once you attain mastery over this, you cease expending vitality on individuals who are undeserving of it from the outset. And I must convey, a certain solitude accompanies this fortitude, a profound, tranquil isolation. Because the majority remain ensnared in the clamor, they persist in pursuing validation, still offering justifications for decisions that were never the concern of others. Yet, if you can abide in that quietude, if you can discover solace in your own lucidity, you will never revert to your former self. You will begin to perceive the type of individual you are evolving into. One who proceeds with serenity, not disarray. One who communicates when essential and maintains stillness when it is not. An individual who no longer requires external recognition because they have achieved self-recognition. There is no necessity to proclaim your limits ostentatiously. The appropriate individuals will sense them, and the inappropriate ones will challenge them. This is the way you discern the distinction. However, do not permit the unsuitable individuals to draw you into a display. You have no need to persuade anyone of your transformation. Allow your quietness to be its own testament. Let your disengagement demonstrate that you have surpassed the iteration of yourself that endured their turmoil. There is no requirement to elucidate your tranquility. It is unnecessary to convert your recovery into a vernacular they comprehend. Personal development is not a collaborative endeavor. You are not obliged to provide anyone with a detailed account of your metamorphosis. Certain experiences are intended for living, not for vindication. There is strength in declining a call, strength in not responding to a message, strength in departing without a dramatic exit, for it is then that individuals begin to perceive your non-presence. It is then they commence to understand they never truly comprehended you. They were acquainted only with the facet of you that provided them ease. And when that facet vanishes, they will become alarmed. They will insist on an account. Yet, do not offer it, not out of harshness, but as a result of your maturation, because you are now aware that certain narratives do not necessitate repetition. They simply require conclusion. This is the appearance of emotional fortitude. It is serene. It is self-restrained. It involves selecting tranquility over theatrics, lucidity over disarray, and command over instinct. It means departing when contention was an option. It is maintaining quietude when you possess the ability to reveal their actions. It is releasing when you could have persisted merely to make a statement. That constitutes strength. And the individuals who fail to grasp it were never destined to accompany you. Therefore, no, you are not indebted to anyone for an account of your destination. You are not obliged to provide one for what you have relinquished. Your existence is not a media briefing. Your suffering is not intended for general perusal. And your tranquility is not subject to bargaining. Allow them to ponder. Let them remain with the quietness. And you continue your onward progression. And if you remain present, still attentive, then perhaps you are among the select few who comprehend that quietude is not feebleness. That departing without utterance can resonate more profoundly than a multitude of justifications. That a lack of response does not signify surrender. It is transcending. You have borne an excessive burden for an extended period. You have been contorting, maneuvering, attempting to conform to environments entirely unsuitable for you, endeavoring to clarify your position to individuals determined to misinterpret you. And perhaps, just perhaps, you have at last reached a conclusion. You have no need to vindicate your recovery. You are not obligated to present your suffering to anyone in easily assimilated portions. You do not need to cloak your reality in gentle terms to ensure the comfort of others. What you are indebted to yourself for is tranquility, lucidity, and self-esteem. And that commences the instant you cease feeling compelled to be comprehended by those who never merited the privilege of hearing your narrative. So, allow this to serve as your authorization, not from my person, nor from any other, but from that serene aspect of your being that was already aware. You have permission to disengage. You have permission to depart. You have permission to vanish from the clamor and select your own cadence. Indeed, it is imperative, and if this communication has found you at an opportune time, then convey it onward, disseminate it, not due to its trendiness nor its popularity, but because there exists an individual at this very moment, precariously holding on to their resilience, awaiting authorization to cease justifying themselves. And should you not yet have done so, become a subscriber, not merely to bolster the channel, but to become part of a domain where quietude is revered, where stillness signifies power, where you face no condemnation for prioritizing your own well-being. This is more than just a visual recording. It is an instant of revelation, an exhalation of reprieve, a prompt that the more you repossess your quietness, the more you repossess your strength. You are not indebted to anyone for an account. And that is the most potent insight you will ever attain. Remain centered, remain quiet, remain liberated.